Welcome back, everybody, to the Insightful Podcast. We gain insight in order to move forward in life. For today's episode, there is no structure, there's nothing specific that I want to talk about, but I want to start the series where I kind of just go over my thoughts recently and I just kind of tell you guys what I've been doing and what things have kind of affected me recently. So, I guess what I want to start off with is some books that I've read as of late. And the first one that I'll share with you guys is I've been really getting into Mitch Albom. He's an author that kind of speaks about, I would say, self improvement, but in a story format. So if you're someone that finds it kind of boring, all these self help books, maybe they repeat the same things to you and you kind of don't take much value from them, I think Mitch Albom is someone that you should discover and start to read. And the person that introduced me to him was my girlfriend, and she kind of said, "Oh, I think you would really like this book based on how you think." And honestly, I read his first book, The Five People You Meet in Heaven. I don't know if that was his first book, but first book of this series, and it was amazing. The story it told, the perspective it gave on how the little things in your life can be of so much value, and the little things in life can have hold so much meaning that you don't even understand, and the only way to understand it is to go to heaven and see it from, I guess, that hindsight is truly amazing. And I think it made me be more grateful for the little things in my life and gave me that perspective that like everything matters and we're all connected in some way. And then also the second part, the sequel to that book, this was really good as well. I don't know if I really like it more than the first one just based off of how new the first one was to me and how the concepts were so new. But this book I just finished reading yesterday and I really enjoyed it as well. It goes over a story of this girl, and her name is Annie, and she is the type of person that feels like she made too many mistakes in her life and she's undeserving of things and everything is her fault. But she starts to see how those mistakes shaped her and how those mistakes all matter to some degree in order to live the life that she was meant to live. And I think it's a really good read. I think it's once again one of those books that you should read if you're into self improvement and you want something a little more, enjoyable and more entertaining. Because, like I said before, a lot of self help books can be boring and hard to follow along. And I'm kind of in the mood now where I want to read stuff that gets me thinking more and that I enjoy more so that I can be more disciplined with my reading. For the next book I'm reading The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murray. And I just started reading it. I'm 20 pages in, but I know this is going to be one of my favorite self help books because it's very easily digestible. And I think it has a lot to do with faith and how you think and the way your thoughts shape your reality. And I think we hear that a lot, but to actually understand those concepts is what I'm truly excited for. So I'll read you a passage of something I read that I highlighted, and that is fill your mind with the concepts of harmony, health, peace, and goodwill, and wonders will happen in your life. And that seems pretty self explanatory, but I think putting that into practice is where the true value is when you're able to start only focusing on the good things and focus on the things that are bettering you and focus on how every opportunity you have, no matter how difficult it is, can be something that could shape your life for the better. And just having a more positive outlook on life allows you to attract things that are positive. Because if you're always looking for the negative, I think that's the only thing you'll ever see. Let me see if I actually wrote anything else. This is actually a passage they reference from the Bible, and that is Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. And that is all that is true, all that is noble, all that is just and pure, all that is lovable and gracious, whatever is excellent and admirable, fill all your thoughts with these things. And the thing that I'm learning the most is that your subconscious mind comes from habitual thoughts. And if your habitual thoughts are always negative, you are never going to see the good in life, right? So, what you need to currently do is start to change the way you think. The second you change the way you think, that is exactly what changes your life, right? Because you cannot achieve great things. You cannot become the best version of yourself if you're always thinking in negative thought patterns. So I'm really excited to go through this book and read it. And I can't wait to share with you guys more. Maybe it could be on my next My Thoughts episode, because I'm really going to enjoy this kind of series on the podcast, because I kind of just get to talk freely with nobody else, and I also don't have to have any structure. I kind of just do whatever I want, which is nice sometimes, because free thinking and not being too specific on your thoughts and kind of just sharing what's on your mind, I think is super important. And that's why I enjoy journaling. And it's kind of like a journal, but in a way of sharing it through video and through the you guys watching. So I'm very excited. And the next thing is my task list. Okay. I've realized, and I've definitely realized this much more recently than ever, is that the only way I actually follow through on all my promises is when I have them written down. It does something for my brain. It allows me to kind of have a kind of dopamine hit when every time I check something off my list. And maybe that's not the best thing because I'm seeking like some validation or whatever within myself, but I think it's super important to find little cheats and little hacks for your life to make the discipline things a lot easier. And what I noticed is that literally the only time I wake up early, the only time I wake up on time and get the things done I need to get done, is when I write them down, is when I know exactly what I'm doing at every single moment of the day. And if you're not doing that now, I really recommend that you do that, especially if you're someone who's trying to achieve great things and have the most productive day they can, is that you constantly write the things down that need to be done. You write down your goals, you write down your task list, you get the things done no matter how you feel. Because once you start to do that, that is exactly when these things become easier and the discipline feels easier, right? So that is something that I've been practicing a lot, especially this week, because I was sick the past couple days. And yeah, I guess just overcoming that and then getting back on writing out my to-do list has allowed me to be more productive and allowed me to actually follow through on all of my promises. And I've been enjoying writing with this pen. It's an ink cartridge pen, and I actually journal with this too. And my goal right now too when it comes to journaling is I want to fill out this whole journal by the end of the year. My girlfriend gave me this journal for Christmas. It's very nice, genuine leather, if you really care about that. But I'm trying to write at least one page a day, and what my pages will look like are reflections, things I've been thinking about, I guess things that I've been dealing with, and writing them down and seeing kind of how my brain thinks them through. And I just noticed that like the presence that you were looking for comes from slowing down life. And what does that mean? Slowing down life is taking a book and reading it and not trying to rush it, not trying to have a goal of finishing it in 2 hours or whatever that looks like. Just slowing down and really taking in what you're reading. When it comes to journaling, writing down your thoughts and not being in a rush. When it comes to meditation, you meditate for the time that you set out for, and you don't try to rush it or you don't cut it down. You just enjoy the whole process entirely. And I think that's super important when it comes to presence, because I want to say months before this, I was struggling with presence to some degree. And I think it was just because of the busyness of life, and I never gave myself opportunities to slow it down. And you need to take control if you really want presence in your life. You need to spend time doing things that are slow and meaningful to you, because if you don't, you'll find yourself being less present in your daily life, and you don't feel like your authentic self when you're constantly busy. So I think it's super important to find that presence in the moments that matter in order to kind of feel your best and feel the way you should be feeling. That is kind of all I wanted to go through in this episode of what I've been thinking about recently. Let me know what you guys think of this series, and I'll try to release at least one episode a week about my thoughts, because I kind of just want to come on here and share whatever it is going on in my mind without having any structure, like I said before. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode.